Have you ever driven by an interesting house and wondered what it looked like inside? Now's your chance. Join us as we take a sneak peek at one of the homes on the Landmark Association's Christmas Tour of Homes, today on Warren County Preserves. Welcome to Warren County Preserves. I'm Joan Needham. The Christmas Tour of Homes may be what the Landmark Association is known for, but there's quite a lot more going on with our local preservation organization.
Landmark Association started in 1976. The main purpose was to look about us here in Bowling Green and Warren County, look at what we had that was worthy of preserving, and to be an advocate and go-to community sources that would help us to preserve and protect what we had. We do a great many things. Sometimes we're simply a voice behind the scenes to make people aware of what needs to be done to preserve things. We do great letter writing campaigns, but we also do a lot of fun activities too. Among them, we certainly have our annual meeting and picnic each year. Those are two separate occasions, and what's most fun about them are the sites at which they're held. And we usually try to find some place that would interest our members, and our members are interested in historical preservation. And for instance, this year our picnic was at the Titchener's Farm in Logansport. We also do trips that are just really fun. Last week we had a trip to Strickler Stained Glass, and many of our trips are not only to interesting sites just to see them, but they're informational. So the people at the stained glass place gave demonstrations and history of it. We're just really proud of our publications. We have a great many publications that have to do with the history of Bowling Green and Warren County, and several of them are here. The most recent is Bowling Green and Vintage Postcards by Jonathan Jeffrey.
Landmark plays a critical role for the city and county in preserving the past for the future.
Landmark's a terrific organization to be involved with. One of the things I really like about Landmark is the cooperation between Landmark and other organizations such as the Historical Preservation Board. There's just so many things that we can do together, and we're much stronger when we do things together. I cannot imagine not being a member of Landmark. I've been a member for over 25 years, and it's because I like history. I like to know what has gone on in the past, and I think there's so many of us who want to preserve the best of our culture, of what has gone on before, to pass it on to our children so that we don't continue to begin anew. We have a heritage, and we should know about our heritage.
One of the many ways Landmark helps to inform us about our heritage is by hosting the Christmas Tour of Homes.
While in the past few years we've tried to focus on places in our downtown area here in Bowling Green and in the historical district, this year we're expanding further out into the county, and we have several places that are outside of the city limits, and we are focusing on places along Louisville Road and in Smiths Grove.
A significant property for Smiths Grove, and one of the homes on the tour, is the William H. Cook House, which presently serves as the Victorian House Bed and Breakfast. This summer, Sharon Dolly gave us a preview of this National Register listed property.
The house was built in 1875 by William H. Cook. He owned this entire block, and these three buildings that you see over here on the left-hand side was buildings that he built for his businesses. The one on the corner was a dry goods store. And then there's a little bank right over here, and He was a banker, he dabbled in banking, and the building straight behind me was an opera house. He put in a little culture in the Smiths Grove area back in, this was only 10 years after the Civil War ended. He owned this entire block, and where the Presbyterian Church sits back here is where their barn would have been, and also a carriage house. He was with the L&N Railroad Company, and he lived here until he died at age 62, and he was only 25 years old when he built all of this house and these businesses. On the grounds, we have the original smokehouse that was built back in those days, and an old outhouse. We have the rock garden out in the yard, and it was put in the 1940s by Dr. and Mrs. Helm. They lived here from 1947 until 1962. His business, his practice was over here in the old opera house, and Mrs. Helm is the one who wanted to put in the rock garden. And I don't know how or who did it, but there are also 3 on the property, 3 lampposts that were original to downtown Bowling Green in the early times. So that's very pretty. I love this big wraparound porch that we're sitting on right now. It's really where a lot of our guests like to come and stay out here if the weather's permitting, and it's covered, so even if it's raining, they like to sit out here.
The house is a jewel set in the middle of downtown Smiths Grove. But wait till you see the inside when we return. Welcome back to Warren County Preserves. Smiths Grove is known for its antique shops, historic downtown, and country drives. So if you've ever been here, you've no doubt noticed this stately and grand home. I'm sure it made just as much of an impact in 1875 when it was built. And the inside is equally impressive. But you don't have to wait till Christmas to see it. Come on in.
The staircase is very interesting because it's a split staircase inside, and we were told that the ladies' parlor was in the back part of the house, and they would like to use the back staircase because they didn't like their ankles to be seen as they went upstairs. Well, all the doors are original, and all the doorknobs are original to the home, and there are transoms above all the doors. That was their method of air conditioning back then. The dining room is very unique here. I really love the chandeliers are all original in this house, as are all the shutters on the windows. And it just gives you a feeling of what it must have been like to sit at the dinner table, maybe on Christmas Eve back in the 1800s.
Upstairs, one of the guest bedrooms reveals a lost means of communication.
This was an early way to signal the servants. This was the first one put in, and essentially what you did was just crank back and forth, and that would, the bell doesn't work, but that would signal the servant to come. And this was a later one put in sometime after they had the house electrified. And you'd pull that, and it would light up a colored light down in the kitchen, and they had different colored lights for each room. And it was a way for the servant to come on up and take care of them.
Sharon and David feel that it is a part of their mission in life to care for this home because of its healing properties and its ability to connect us with the past.
It gives you a sense of history. I have pictures of what Smiths Grove looked like back when this house was first built, when people were in horse and carriage, and they were here on their journeys before us, and it's just got such a sense of character, and it gives you a lot of peaceful feeling here. It's almost like you step back in time when you're in this house. There's still some modern day things around us, of course, but it just gives you a sense of a slower time when we weren't in such a hurry. And I think that's why people like to come here, because it gives them a peaceful feeling.
You can experience that connection with the past yourself this December 4th at the Landmarks Christmas Tour of Homes here in Smiths Grove. The houses will be open from noon to 5 p.m. Tickets may be purchased in advance through the Landmark Association or on the day of the event at any of the homes on the tour. The festivities continue on Sunday, December 5th with Landmark's Christmas Tea. The tea is held in a Bowling Green home and includes delectable homemade goodies with tea or coffee and a tour of the home. Tickets for this event must be purchased in advance, so call soon. There are only 2 seatings. Don't just drive by and wonder about what those interesting houses look like inside. See them for yourself. Take advantage of Landmark's Christmas Tour of Homes this December 5th.